Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
As you can see, the screen, Juneteenth, June 15th parade starts at 11 a.m. at King School, festival and all. Hey, by George, this is going to be quite a day. Again, that's the 15th. We've done it every day. Clara, people really did a job. She's always made sure that our community got into the parade. As you note, the Rose Parade is pretty well happening just prior to this. And we invite those folks to come on over too, by the way. The bottom line is that what we're going to do this hour is that we're going to sort of like revisit, if you will, the activities of Juneteenth in the past and about Clara people and whatever. And naturally, we've got the families of Clara is going to be a part of the deal. And Heather, one of the community people, very much involved. She's basically handling all of the marketing and this, that, and the other. And she's going to be on today to go through the whole deal about the background of Juneteenth and community background of Juneteenth. And I'm going to be there. And as you note, I've got my uniform. That's like I've always done. I've always had on when we had the previous Juneteenth. I'm a member of the Buffalo Soldiers of America. I'm a lifetime member of the Buffalo Soldiers of America. And we got military involvement. As you note, just briefly, this was when President Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, during those days of the Civil War, and after the men in blue, if you will. And by the way, Buffalo Soldiers were participants in that particular time. Basically, President Lincoln said, okay, fine, now the slaves are free. We use that term, slaves are free. That's history, education, if you will. And the whole idea is that they found out after a period of time, the people in the South, if you will, where a number of the Confederacy were, did not respect the fact that President Lincoln said that these people were free. Black people were free. So he basically sent some troops. He sent some troops down south on the garrison taxes and whatever. But anyway, I'm just giving you a little deal. But anyway, Heather's going to go back over that when she gets on board and talk a little bit more about that particular piece. Fact of the matter is that, and you know, there's going to be some really neat participation there because we're going to try to emulate that. And I'll just do a little quick note there, standpoint that we're going to have the American flag is going to be up front, which identifies with the Lincoln, President Lincoln aspect. And if everything works out right, the chief of police, Portland chief of police, he's going to be basically identified as the major that was being sent down there to Galveston with the troops, let these people know that the black African Americans were free, if you will, and we're going to have those guys involved in that. As you know, the Portland police are very much involved. The motorcycle folks are going to all still be a part of the parade and this, that, and the other, and the like. And like I said, I'm going to be there here for an hour. Others are going to be talking, and then every so often I will interject, if you will, some of the historical pieces that we did in the past, if you will, like as far as the folks that we talked about, you know. But with that, Heather, are you there?
I am here, Mr. Broussard. How are you today?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this parade and this, that, and the other. And thank goodness you're here. And understand Janelle, who's part of the Clara People's Clan, if you will.
Absolutely.
We've identified you to be the spokesperson for this year's 2024 Juneteenth parade. And by George, I'm waiting to say I'll be sitting back here just observing and whatever in my uniform because you are now the president of these United States.
All right. Well, thank you for electing me. Okay. I promise to do good by the people.
I know you will. Go ahead on, Heather.
Okay. All right. So I am Heather Coleman Cox. I am the Public Relations Director for Juneteenth, Oregon. I have had this title since 2016. We lost our founder and our mentor, Miss Clara May Peoples, in 2015. However, her granddaughter, daughters, Janelle Jack and Jen Robinson, along with her daughter, Marsha Peoples Jack, have continued on with her legacy. So I'm very happy to be a part of the Juneteenth Oregon team. And we are celebrating our 52nd annual parade and event this year.
Awesome.
Yes, we are going to begin our Clara May People's Freedom Trail Parade at King School, 11 a.m. sharp. And you know, Bruce, our parade just continues to grow year after year. We've had almost 1,000 people in our parade last year. And this year we're expecting the same type of crowd. And we're just elated. The Clara May Freedom Trail Parade is a free parade. The only thing you need to do is go to our website, juneteenthor.com, and sign up. There's a link to be a part of the parade. And since it's a freedom trail parade, it is free. And we welcome everyone. We welcome everyone.
Heather, let me inject something real quick. Like, one, where's the location of King School? Just, I know it's probably be on the flyer, but where's the location and what time do they have to be there to sign?
Okay, King School is located right on the corner of Grand and what is that side street? Right off of Alberta. And you need to show up by at least 10 a.m. and check in. But it's very important that you go to the website first and acknowledge that you'll want to be there, because we try to have order in the parade. So you need to sign up on the website and you'll be given a number. And once you come and check in with me, I'll be there with my megaphone and getting everyone all lined up. You can just come and check in with me and I'll put you in position, and we leave at 11 a.m. sharp. We are not late with our Freedom Trail Parade.
Okay. And what about late arrivals if they don't go through that process? Is it possible they might be able to get at the end of the parade or something?
Yes, you could come and get at the end of the parade. We have had that take place last year. So, you can still get in, but it's best if you register so that we have an idea of where to put people. We don't want to put like children behind a moving vehicle, or, it's just for logistics reasons why it's important to sign up.
Makes sense. And then I guess another point I might add is that, as you know, we're right in the midst of, well, we got the Rose Festival that's already happened. Those folks
Yes.
have come. That's one of the reasons we're doing that. And the other thing, we got a big election for our new change of government here in the Portland metropolitan area, as you know. And there's going to be a lot of folks that's going to be running for office during the time, possibly our future leaders, right? You got me? And I guess
Yes.
we would welcome all of those individuals to come and let the people see their faces, if you will, to let them know that there's a possibility of one of these people going to be elected to district number 2, which is primarily where many of the African Americans have resided throughout the state of Oregon. As far as numbers, we're all over Oregon, but the point is that Northeast Portland is a very important historical piece as it relates, if you will, to the whole issue of the African, like President. Well, that's the position that we're telling folks within our community, that we are free and we are part and parcel of society. Okay, I just thought I'd throw that in for you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, everyone is welcome. I mean, no hate groups. Of course, we don't want anything like that, but everyone is welcome to be a part of the Clara May Freedom Trail Parade. So yes, definitely come on out. Like I said, the crowd just keeps growing. As a matter of fact, Bruce, we have gotten so large that the city of Portland has reduced our coverage of the parade in terms of how far we can march. It's a little bit different. They started this yesterday. Normally, we would start at Safeway on Martin Luther King in Ainsworth and
Right.
head down south to, I'm sorry, head down north to Russell Street, make that right turn and end up at Lillis Albina Park. But now we're starting from King's Stool and we're making our turn on Knox Street. So it's a little shorter, but it's the the parade effect is still there.
I guess it was probably for security purposes or something to that effect. But well, we need to
They
take that out.
said that the police said they don't have enough
I understand,
officers to cover
which
it.
is true.
So
Which is okay, good. Then, like I said, security is kind of like it's like in our community hand too. I mean, we're not interested in people that are going to be causing any problems. You know, that's why I'm going to be there for sure.
mhm.
Okay? But as in all due respect, this is a parade for all. This is a parade from this country, if you will. This is a history. We're part of that history, if you will. And it's very, very important
Absolutely.
that folks understand who we are. Unfortunately, we're not teaching our kids that in our school, public school. I hope that might be another effort that we can maybe next time, next year, they will start talking about and educating our young people, if you will, about what this is all about and what we're doing. Okay,
Yes, absolutely.
okay, go on.
All right. So with that, I'd like to talk a little bit about the history of Juneteenth and what we do here in Oregon to celebrate Juneteenth.
Where are we going at this point in time? Let's talk a little bit more about some of the activities in the parade. You know what I mean? We're gonna be
Well,
marching,
yeah,
right?
yes, our parade is full of different city of Portland agencies, private agencies, just regular people off the street. And as you mentioned, we have the mayor, we have the Buffalo Soldiers, we have, I mean, just so many different organizations that are taking part in our Freedom Trail Parade now. And
Well,
this
tell me
is
this:
a lot.
are you saying that Mayor Wheeler is going to be here with us? Is he going to be in the parade? Mayor Wheeler?
He has not confirmed, but normally someone from his office will be present at the event.
Well, he
So
should be there. I'll take it up on this big. No, he is the mayor of the city of Portland. You know, and I'm sure you probably have already invited the other mayor, if you will, of the community, our honorary mayor,
oh
Paul.
yes,
You got Paul,
absolutely.
and hopefully Paul will drive that little uh, car that he's got there. He's got a little neat vintage car aspect of it. He was one of the main drivers, if you will, back in the days, and for Clara, and then after I was behind him with Mrs. Green. Remember that one? Mrs.
Yes,
Green, part of the aspect of it. So hopefully Paul will be there. And I understand you're the let's see, who am I thinking about? Thinking about Avell Gordley now. Remember her? You get me? And Avell's gonna
yes,
be around too.
yes, Abel Gordley is actually going to grace us with being our master of ceremony. So
Yeah,
we're
Grand
very
Marshal.
Yes,
Yeah,
Grand
yeah,
Marshal. I'm sorry,
yeah,
our
no
Grand
problem.
Marshal.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're very happy about that. Every year we try to find someone very notable in the community to be our Grand Marshal. We've had everyone from our Black police chief to
Yes.
Danielle Outlaw. We've had, just some regular citizens that are doing big things in the city. And this year we have Miss Avell Gordley, so we're very honored that she accepted the call to action.
Well, let me give you another couple of just a few more. Like at one point in time, uh, he actually federal judge thinking about Answer Haggerty. Remember him? Answer Haggerty?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I
Answer was a
did.
former Marine. In fact, and when I came to Portland, Oregon, to a certain degree, he was a Marine recruiter, and so I kind of like identified myself from the standpoint that I replaced him. Okay, you got me?
Okay.
But he was Lieutenant, and he was one of the most decorated military persons from Vietnam in the state of
Mm,
Oregon, the most decorated,
okay.
and so he was very much a participant aspect of it, and like you said, there were a number of notables, if you will. Margaret Carter, that's another situation. You know, our representative, state representative, and Lou Frederick. I don't know whether or not he was, but the fact of the matter is he's a senator, if you will, then in Northeast Portland for the two representative district aspect of it. So, like you said,
Actually, Lou Frederick was our Grand Marshal last year. So yes,
yeah,
he's very
yes,
much
yeah,
involved. And normally he speaks. We invite him to come
right.
out and speak.
Right.
Yes.
Everybody gets involved. That's we're not trying to forget anybody's participation, but in all due respect, and they've all participated. Everybody has participated in the Juneteenth parade across the board. It is the community's parade. I mean,
Yes, it is.
we've tried to get everybody In fact, we've been trying to get horses. At one point in time, when I was prior president of the Moses Williams chapter. That's the association that's here in Portland for the Buffalo Soldiers, and I was prior captain. And we got the horses involved in the Rose Parade. So consequently, we had them in the Juneteenth parade, and when we weren't fortunate able to get them in this particular parade, but next year, guarantee we will have horses for these young people to see in the Juneteenth parade. We will definitely have horses, and we'll have that participation. Maybe, like I said, so we got some work to do. But the fact of the matter is, it's going to be some glorious time, and it's going to be, you know what I mean. There's going to be public safety there. Let's talk a little bit about the parking area. Have you talked about the parking at all? Can they park in some of the stores lots, parking lots, if you will, and around?
Okay, so at the time at the parade,
Mhm.
it's a neighborhood. King School is in a residential neighborhood, so there's open free parking, in the neighborhoods. And
Right.
once you get down to the event, we are right next to Emmanuel Hospital. And
Okay.
so Legacy Emmanuel Hospital. So every year they allow our participants to park for free in their lot without worry of being told. They have partnered with us every year and they continue to do so. So yes, parking in the Emmanuel lot is free, and there is no cause for being concerned about being told.
Okay. And then let's talk a little bit more now about. But now we've gone through the parade. We've talked about some folks who are going to be participants and this, that, and the other. We've talked about what time they should be there ahead of time, Matthew, right? It's going to
Yes.
start right on time. What time was that again?
We start at 11 a.m. So
11
you
a.m.
need to check in by 10 a.m. and you'll see me out there with my megaphone. Just come
Right.
in and get checked off, and you'll get positioned to where you will appear in the parade.
So there's a possibility that if a person didn't go through as you say, go through the phone, this, that, and the other, get those numbers, that they may want to come in a little later, if you will, if you about 11:30ish, if you will, all the other folks get signed up for you, right? You don't want everybody standing in line trying to get in if they haven't signed up. So maybe 10:30 up in that area, about 10 o'clock or so, park your cars, and then come up and just wait there for a minute and get signed in that way, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
Parking's going to be limited. Yeah, parking's going to be somewhat limited. So if you got there a little early, if you got there at 10, don't expect to basically get signed up at the same time. It's going to be basically getting the participants that have gone through the process, because Heather's going to be doing this stuff and matter of fact with it. So give her at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes or so to get the first crowd in, and then you can come up afterwards. She'll pretty well let you know. I know she will.
Exactly. And you know what, Bruce? The parade, just starting for the parade, turns out to be a community thing. I
Yes.
mean, somebody will come up there and start playing music, and
Yes.
everyone there just kind of is ready and excited. And there's a really special vibe that is going on. So we've never had any problems with anyone being antsy, or everyone is just all in one accord about celebrating this freedom. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just anticipate the same type of community support and
Good.
parade support. Yes.
Good. Okay, now that we talked a little bit about that, you can always come back again on that end of it. But let's talk about now the activities after the parade. People have now they're sitting up there over there by Emmanuel Hospital now, right? And you'll see all of the folks that are there, and let's talk a little bit about the vendors that's going to be there. What kind of folks are going to be there? Are you going to have any other activities there on those grounds?
Right. So our 52nd annual event this year is going to kick off with our parade as usual. And then they're going to end up at Lillis Albina Park, which is on Russell and right across, it's right off of Williams. You won't be able to miss us if
Right.
you're down in that area. And right on the grounds of Harriet Tubman Elementary School. So right there we'll have a big presence. We are so thankful that every year we sell out a vendor space. We have over 100 retail vendors that are going to be present there. We have some food vendors. Last year we started with our first alcohol and beer garden. So we'll
Okay.
also have that present. And there's just all these community people, community vendors out showcasing their products, and it's just a magnificent feel. We also have a very large children's area. We have the big blow up toys. I can't think of what they're called, but the big jungle gyms. We have those out there. We have other activities going on for the children. So it's going to be really nice.
So,
Now,
so tell me this. Tell me this. Now, there's going to be a kids area where the parents can maybe, drop off the kids there, or they should be with their kids at all times.
you should definitely, any parent should stay around in that
Good.
area and keep an eye on their kids. Now, we do have someone, volunteers over there, watching, just making sure that no one's getting hurt. But in terms of like making sure that your child doesn't run off, that's not our responsibility. So a parent should be over there keeping an eye on their child and making sure that they are not
You make a good point. Okay, going on. I'm sorry. Going on. Keep going.
yeah, just making sure that your child, you know where your child is. Just like at any event, you should know where your child is. But we definitely have volunteers over there watching, looking for anyone that's gonna just any kind of issues that happen. And we also have a first aid section, and in all of that we
Hey,
take every precaution to make sure that people are safe and that everyone is having a good time.
good, good, good.
Now, in terms of what's going to actually happen
Okay,
on the
just
stage.
another point about all of the activity. Yeah, you're right, right, right. Now, naturally, you've got a situation with the vendors and this and the other. Naturally, there's a cost involved in regards to getting those particular situations. But if they want to do something futuristic wise, they would what call the organization, right?
Yes, if you would like to be a vendor or a sponsor of Juneteenth Oregon,
Good,
just go to our website, juneteenthor.com, and everything is there. Just
good,
click the link if you want to donate, if you want to be a vendor, retail or food vendor, sponsor.
good,
It's all taken care of right at our website.
good. I want to make sure we mention those kinds of things, thinking in terms of the future, right? You give up on
Yes.
something, then that way you can expand accordingly. Like, you may be able to take over the whole Coliseum next time around. You never know.
Well, it was Clara People's dream to have Juneteenth at the waterfront.
Right.
And I would like for that dream to come true for her.
Do it. Let's do it.
That
Yes.
was that was a part of what she always wanted. And we are actually growing that large where we could take up, we don't need the entire waterfront, but certainly a large section of the waterfront. There's going to be more fees involved in that, and if the parade were to come over the bridge, and it would take a lot more money, but anything is doable when you're doing it in the name of freedom and in the name of the Lord. So I'm hoping that that vision will come true for her, because every year we sell out. We don't have enough
That's
space
great.
to
That's right.
accommodate all the vendors. So if you are interested, I encourage you to sign up right after this event ends. We'll start posting for 2025. So if you are interested in being a vendor, you want to sign up right away, right after this event ends. And this event is taking place on Saturday, June 15th. We are doing a 1 day event. We've been doing 2 years in the 2 days, I'm sorry, in the past. And for whatever reason, on that second day, we get rain. Don't know why. So we're doing 1 day this year, and we hope to have that God will will hold back his reign and just keep us in the sun, and that everything will go smooth.
Well, and all due respect, just a comment in regards to the clearest vision, if you will, of having something downtown like that. I think it's a
Mhm.
fantastic, because in all due respect, this parade and the significance of this parade in terms of what it's supposed to get across, it's an American parade. It's one of
Exactly.
Americans' parade, and it's a very, very important to educate the people, give the kids the opportunity to understand the importance of this piece and the history that Black Americans basically brings to the table. Because in all due respect, one of the things that they recognize now, we've got Cinco de Mayo, if you will, that's downtown on the waterfront aspect of it, and I think Asian Americans are there too, to a certain degree. And so
And Pride, I think Pride is also down
pride,
there.
pride,
Hmm.
their pride, and I think that's on a Saturday too. Am I right? Wrong? What's
It is on a Saturday, but the good thing about Pride is that their organizers reached out to Juneteenth Oregon, and they moved their event a week after ours because they did not want to come up. They didn't want to compete for the audience or for the attention. So they stood up and they said, "Hey, we're no longer gonna hold our event on the same weekend that you hold yours.
Oh boy,
We're
you
gonna
you
wait."
you 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 really getting into my nerve now, because one of the things I've been lobbying for quite some time was Father's Day. And as you know, the importance, if you will, of our young men, if you will, fathers. We have Mother's Day. We have Mother's Day, and Father's Day is on that same day, right? You got me? That's the other thing
Yes.
on this day. And I've been talking to them, and unfortunately, they didn't move for us. But now that you've got it moved,
Yeah, they did. They stood up and they did it. Now,
good,
another thing that Juneteenth Oregon is doing, since we're not doing a 2-day event this year, we are having a Father's Day event at AME Zion Church on Williams and Skidmore.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah, and it's from 2 to 4, and we're just gonna celebrate fathers. We're gonna have a band, we're gonna have a speaker or two, and we're
Awesome.
just there to just celebrate our fathers. So thank you for bringing that up because it's
Yeah.
something new that we're
Well,
doing,
thank
and I
you
just
very much. Thank you very
yeah.
much. And I want to thank, if you will, the gay community, if you will, for moving that up that way and allowing that to happen. And in all due respect, here we are talking about the Juneteenth folks of making sure that fathers are included. And, in all due respect, it's very important because, in all due respect, young African American kids, if you will, and young men, if you will, are in need, if you will, of identifying with the fathers and as well as mothers to a certain degree. Got my point? So I would
Yes.
suggest maybe do it in such a way that nowadays, women are also fathers, and fathers are also women. If you understand where I'm coming from the
Yes, I
standpoint
do.
of kids, you got my point. So they were included at the same time. Then we cover everybody. I mean, and then at church, which was our main staple, if you will, of gathering to
Yes.
talk the issues, was at the Black church. Got me? And the churches need to be involved in this process. And they are. The idea is to make them permanently involved in that day. Got my point? You see what I'm saying? That just makes
Yes.
it very, very neat, the aspect of it. But I thought you gave me the opportunity to throw that in. See?
Yes, that's awesome because we do appreciate Pride for stepping up and making that change for us. We did not ask them; they engaged us with that, so that was very very nice of them to do.
And the other one
So
I was
let's.
going to I was going to throw
Mhm.
one more piece, and then the other one I was going to throw out
Sure.
here, because the military piece was a very, very important piece, with as far as the president of these United States. And and I'm thinking about our own governor. I mean, I was thinking about hopefully our own governor will participate in the parade, which I think is very important. And then all the other military organizations, like the Veterans of Foreign War. I'm a lifetime member of the VFW, the American Legion, if you will, aspect of it.
Mhm.
Marine Corps, the Air Force, the Navy. I mean, the Army. The whole idea of a contingency, because it was about the military communicating. That's what the president basically communicated, if you will, to the people as a whole around this country, that African Americans are part of this country. I mean, we ain't going back. We're part of this country. And so this parade is a very significant part of our growth and our history. And we need to educate the folks along that line. And hopefully the schools are going to hopefully include, if you will, in their so-called education to our kids, especially from grade one above. If you will make that a part, even the colleges for that matter, make sure that they talk about this history. Very important. Glad I throw that little piece out there. You gave me that opportunity. Thank you. Keep going.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. I am in total agreement with everything that you just mentioned. And I would like to let you know that we do have military presence as one of our vendors, amongst our vendors. We've had the Marines, the Army.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think we've had the Air Force or
Coast Guard.
The Navy, but we definitely have had the Marines and the Army come out and have a booth and, talk to young people about
Yeah.
joining the armed forces.
Yes.
So yes,
Yes.
they are
Yes.
there.
Very important. Very important. In fact, I'll be more than glad to maybe kind of sneak in there and help you out on that piece.
Oh,
On,
that would be awesome.
on
That would
all
be
the
awesome.
okay, got me.
Yes.
That's a sound good.
Yes.
By the way, we do have enough time, and I was just thinking that maybe a good time to kind of educate the public because they're going to be looking at this piece on an ongoing basis, if you will. Just a little bit, talk a little bit about Juneteenth. I gave it just a little prelim type of deal. I know part of your presentation because you're going to be sending your presentation about Juneteenth. That's going to be part and parcel because they can Google that, right? They
Yes,
can
they
Google that
can.
part, and that's identified as part of the presentation. But they can Google that. You can maybe talk a little bit about Googling, if you will, the Juneteenth activity piece. That's an easy
Oh,
process. Right? Go on.
okay. So, Bruce, would you like me to go over the presentation or
Yes,
I'm like
yes,
slide by
yes.
slide?
Let's do
Okay.
this. Let's do this now. We have enough time. Because yeah, we okay. Go on. Keep. Let's start. Let's start doing that. We got. Give it. See, it'll be about maybe 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be about, however long you want. It
No
can be
problem.
as
That's good.
quick as 15 minutes, or we can talk about every
You
slide,
keep.
just
I'll keep.
however we want to do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And I've got the time. How's that? Keep going.
All right, let
Go
me
on.
share my screen and get this presentation up. So this is the history of Juneteenth presentation by me, the Public Relations Director of Juneteenth, Oregon. Can you see well?
Yes. It looks
All
good.
right. Let me try to make it full screen here. All right. So when we talk about Juneteenth, we have to start with American history, right?
Right.
As much as they would like to write us out of history, our ancestors participated in the very fabric of making this country the powerhouse that it is today. So after 400 years of slavery, President Abraham Lincoln, who was very interested in the industrial revolution and in industry becoming the forefront of this country opposed to slavery, he introduced the Emancipation Proclamation in October of 1862 in Gettysburg. He announced that in 90 days, he proclaimed that the slaves of the Confederate states would be free as of January 1st of 1863. So this day is very highly anticipated by the slaves. This slide here depicts, what I imagine the slaves were doing, just waiting for the hour, the watch hour, the waiting hour, just waiting for the clock to strike midnight on, December 31st of 1862, whereas the on the first they become free. Now, a lot of churches today will have what's called a watch hour, where we're waiting for Christ to return for the Christians that are out there. But this actually watch hour was actually originated from December 31st of 1862, waiting for the clock to strike midnight where the slaves would become free. Now, once that time did come around, a lot of the former slaves, they fled. They fled the plantations. A lot of them stayed and became sharecroppers. A lot of them were murdered for wanting to leave. We've seen all the stories about slavery and how once they obtained their freedom, they were hunted in spite of the fact that they were free. But, you know, a lot of them did get out and they went north. A lot of them stayed and they became sharecroppers. Some of them were too old and frail to leave, and some of them were afraid to leave. So there were so many different reactions to slavery, but to freedoms. But I feel like most of them left and succeeded in getting up north. Now, after January 1st of 1863, when the Emancipation Proclamation took effect, there were slaves in Galveston, Texas, that did not get the word. Word traveled back to the president that, hey, we're going on 2.5 years later from when you declared slavery ended in the Confederate States, and we still have a large number of slaves in Galveston, Texas, that are still a large number of African Americans that are still in bondage, that are still enslaved. So President Lincoln, he issued General Orders number 3. And in that issue was that on this day, on June 19th of 1865, all slaves were free. Major General Gordon Granger, he arrived on the steps of the Confederate halls, and he proclaimed that he let all the slaves know in that region that they were free and that they had been free for over 2.5 years earlier. Now, back then, there were no social media. There was no Facebook. There were no phones. So he had to go from plantation to plantation to plantation, letting the slaves know that they were indeed free. So the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And the connection hereto existing between them becomes that of hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness, either there or elsewhere. So this order was issued, and you can see that it says they're encouraged to stay. So a lot of them did stay and become sharecroppers, but a lot of them left as well. And they were told, don't go around to the military post thinking you're going to get help. Don't remain idle. You can probably get killed or murdered by the Klan. And, we know everything about what happened with Jim Crow and everything after slavery was this Emancipation Proclamation took place. Now, a lot of people are mistakenly thinking that slavery ended with the Emancipation Proclamation, but actually it wasn't until the 13th Amendment, which was ratified on December 6th of 1865, where all slaves became free, because Lincoln allowed 4 states, the border states, to keep their slaves through the Civil War. And those states were Delaware, Maryland, Montana, and Kentucky. Those were considered the border states, and they were allowed to keep their slaves until after the Civil War and until the 13th Amendment was passed. All right. So once the all of the slaves became free, that's when we started celebrating the Juneteenth. They would put once all of the freedom was for everyone, different states would start advertising in newspaper periodicals about Juneteenth, about celebrating the freedom. And so this is just a picture of that. And it was normally done on June 19th. And this just depicts that. This happens to be 1919. Some of the ways that they celebrated were in the, they would have parades, just like we have our Clara May People's Freedom Trail Parade. They would have parades throughout their celebration. And here's just another picture of that. And they would have bands come out. They would have just, you know, a lot of different activities going on for their parades. And we try to emulate some of these different types of celebrations in our event as well. And this is just another event of a Juneteenth parade taking place in one of the states. This picture here I thought was very interesting because, you know, for a parade, you don't normally get dressed up. And you can see that these people taking part of the parade are dressed in their Sunday attire. They are actually dressed up in suits and nice gowns because slaves were not allowed to wear nice clothing. So once they became free, they, you know, celebrated by, you know, making themselves look nice. And they would actually dress up really nice for Juneteenth celebrations. Next, I want to talk about the food of Juneteenth. Strawberry soda is the signature drink made for Juneteenth, and it's all about red. So you see barbecue, you see red velvet cake, and also soul food. You see fried chicken, you see potato salad, you see greens. So the food of Juneteenth was very important. Also, there were so many different people that would bring different meals and they would all share and break bread together. And this again is the strawberry drink, the signature drink of Juneteenth. Next, I want to talk about the Juneteenth flag. It was originally created in 1997 by Ben Hayes. And the colors of the flag, he chose red, white, and blue to signify that we are Americans. He chose the star as Texas being the Lone Star State. And then he used a starburst, which is what meteorologists name a new star. It's a nova. And so that nova just reflects newness. And then the arch in the background here, that reflects a path, you know, a new horizon. Now I'll talk about Juneteenth Oregon. We use this as our logo. It was actually designed by my daughter, Adam Coleman, and basically it's the state of a map of the state of Oregon and our colors, and just, you know, celebrate freedom and justice as our themes. And we start off our event every year with the Clara People's Freedom Trail Parade. And these are our banner holders. We start off with her banner, and our parade again is just growing year by year. In 2022, we had nearly 1,000 people in our parade, and as well as last year. So, and this is just a picture of that. We have all kind of different agencies across the state that participate. This is the Black Parent Initiative. We have bands, the Beat Goes On band, and also the Ebony Strutters. We have the Portland Fire Bureau band. They participated a couple of years ago when their fire chief Sarah Boone was our grand marshal. And I believe they'll be there again this year. We have Pride. They are also one of our participants, and they'll have a booth down there as well. Impact Northwest. And this is just a small sampling of just the hundreds of people that come out to the parade. We have our official Juneteenth Oregon clown, Nikki Brown clown. You've probably seen her at some events. This is just pictures of, the children's area, vendor booths. Last year we had Cupid, the Line Dance King of America, as our headliner. And also the Jason Neville Funky Soul Band. He is related to the Neville brothers. I think they're out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Another picture of just our guest and vendor booths. More pictures of vendor booths. We had Jeff Merkley and Ron Wyden come out and speak. We usually have somebody present from the political arena in Oregon come out and give words. And so they were there. This is just pictures of some of the events that children can take place in. Another thing that we've done here in Oregon is in 2018, we started a Miss Juneteenth Oregon program. We take little Black girls from the ages of 6 through 19 through a 9-month program that starts in September and ends in May, June. At the end of the program, we hold a pageant, and the winner is given a scholarship for college. During the program, we meet 2 times a month on Saturdays, and we teach them everything from finance, health, volunteering, sisterhood, robotics, and just every kind of life skill that they're going to need going forward. Our program is very, very successful, and we'll be signing up people at our event this year. So do come by the Juneteenth Oregon booth and register for the Miss Juneteenth Oregon program. These are our 2 queens from 2023 and 2022. This is just a picture of some of the events that we hold. This was our Boo Day event. We do have office space that we rent for the program, and all of this takes money. So we're always raising money throughout the year, not just for the event, but also for our program. This is the Juneteenth Oregon Board of Directors. From left, this is our president, Janelle Jack, the granddaughter of Clara May Peoples. This is me, Public Relations Director, Heather Coleman Cox. This is Marsha Peoples Jack, our secretary. This is Tasha. Her last name escapes me right now. I apologize, but she is our volunteer, in charge of our volunteer coordinator. And this is Jen Robinson, Clara Peoples' other granddaughter, and she is our vice president. And then we come to Miss Clara Peoples, who started it all for Oregon, who started Juneteenth in Oregon on June 19th of 1945. She migrated here from Muskogee, Oklahoma, and she was working for the Kaiser Shipyards. On June 19th of 1945, she got permission from her supervisor to announce on the loudspeaker that it was Juneteenth, and for everyone to meet her in the cafeteria so that they could celebrate Juneteenth. And that is actually the unofficial start of Juneteenth in Oregon. In 1972, the city of Portland began recognizing Juneteenth and allowed the first parade coordinated by Clara May Peoples and Miss Aura Lee Green. In 1920, the city of Portland made Juneteenth a paid holiday. June 17th of 2021, Governor Kate Brown introduced House Bill 2168, which made Juneteenth an Oregon state paid holiday. And of course, June 15th of 2021, Senate Bill 475 was passed through Congress, making Juneteenth a national holiday. So we have come a long way with the celebration of Juneteenth. And we feel that it's going to grow even more. And we're very excited to keep the legacy of Miss Clara May Peoples going. She was just absolutely a dynamo. And I'm honored to be on the board with her granddaughters and her daughter. And that concludes my presentation. I'll hand it back over to you, Bruce.
Oh, this was awesome. This was awesome. I mean, I've learned some things. And thank you very much.
Great.
You did an
Great.
excellent job. And as you indicated, the first thing I saw right after saw this whole piece, this would be a nice educational piece, if you will, for people to share, if you will, about the parade, and then get a better feeling and a better understanding the rationale for why it's such an important piece item to resolve, if you will, some of the issues that we still have today. It's on race. Race is still a major issue within our country, for that matter. Here we are talking about something that has been certified and approved, in all due respect, by a few folks. Let's put it that, and so now they can really broadcast this and educate it, put it in the school system, if you will, and make that part and parcel of promoting, like we promote the Rose Festival here in the city of Portland. Let that be a part and part of do something similar, if you will, with the Juneteenth parade piece. I mean, it has every effect. Make sure that we take it downtown rather than the so-called Black community in Northeast Portland. No, we're a part of the entire Oregon community, not just one segment of the community. Got me? And so
Yes,
that's a very,
absolutely.
very, very important piece, and so it's part of the American history aspect of it. So hopefully, the folks who are looking at it now and who basically will do that, consider doing things of that nature, we will encourage you to share this. Share this with everybody you know, and then at the end of your sharing, make it a point to say, please share this now to other folks from your particular perspective. That's a very, very
Yes.
important piece aspect of it, because that's what we got to do. Get the word out. And the downtown piece again is another piece aspect of it. I think the city of
Yes.
Portland should incorporate that piece downtown on the waterfront, just like they've done Saint Mario. That's okay. That's okay.
Yes.
That's fine. We've done that with the Gay Pride Day. That's downtown aspect of it. But the Juneteenth piece is a very, very big, and resolve some of the issue of race that we've been dealing with on an ongoing basis. We've always used that, in all due respect, a lot of people use the race issue as an excuse not to participate. Got me?
Yes. Yep. That is true.
No, this is the American way. We need to be a part of that. And if that's part of it, then all of a sudden we'll get away from that so-called Marvel, if you will. Nationwide, by the way. I mean, people around the country still identify Portland, Oregon as a racist state and a racist
Mhm.
area. And then
Yeah.
let's just be factual about it. That's a fact, if you will.
Yes.
See what we can
Absolutely.
do to counter some of that kind of a deal. And as you have you noticed that how Heather has laid this out. She carefully put this piece out, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do it at this point in time. I realize this might be a lengthy kind of a marketing piece, but it's important. You've been given the
Yeah.
opportunity, if you will, to see what was the definition of Juneteenth, who originated it, aspect of it, the history of it, how it related to Portland, where it's at today. He talked about the national aspect of it, how it was included nationwide day one from the president of the
Yeah.
United States, then Abraham Lincoln, if you will. And that's a very, very, very piece. So consequently, let's put him in there. Let's go on
Yeah.
and do what we have to do. And uh, and she's giving you the front part of the whole piece. We'd like very much for you to consider the participation on this issue. That's a very, very important piece. So please share this information as much as you possibly can. You can Google it on the Oregon Voters Digest, once we get that on there, it'll be on there forever, if you will. All you have to do there is subscribe, so you can get this particular piece from a historical standpoint. It will always be on TV nationwide, on YouTube, on an ongoing basis. So if you participated, you haven't participated, you can do it on your own. If you look at 10 minutes of it or 15 minutes of it, you can do that too. You can come back to it. It can repeat itself. You can see Heather. You can see Heather. You can see what the parade looked like, and on and on and on and on. So that's a very, very important piece, and I want to make sure that you understand. It's about community, about community of this state. We need to know it all. It's like anything else here in Oregon. Where we are in kind of like northeast portion of Oregon, we need to get to the south. All those rural countries, those rural states, if you will, the rural areas in Oregon, and let the folks see what's going on. You know my point? Very important. And
Absolutely.
The Oregon Historical Society. Hopefully, Kupchak is the curator over there now. The Oregon Historical Society. Hopefully, he might be able to put together a piece for this piece, for the third people piece, and put that as part of the illustration when people come and visit where the historical society is for the state of Oregon is right here in downtown Portland. And all they have to do is just push a button, and there it is. They got that should be part and parcel of their major presentation at the Oregon Historical Society. Because there's been some major contribution from African Americans, Black African Americans here in the state of Oregon. You'd be surprised, even as its origin, if you will. And that's a very, 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 very important piece. Like I mentioned initially about the whole issue with federal judge Answer Haggerty. Federal judge Answer Haggerty. Remember when that whole issue with race came up, and he chaired that whole legal presentation aspect of it on that piece. So anyway, very important. I'm going to give it back to Heather. She's had enough time to kind of throw my little few pieces in. Maybe there's some other ending pieces she might want to share. Maybe just regurgitate, if you will, some of the pieces on the front end. Okay, go on.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just want to invite everyone to come out to our Juneteenth Oregon 52nd annual event. Again, the parade starts at 11 a.m. from King School. Our event kicks off at noon at Lillis Albina Park. We have local entertainers this year. We have Versatile, we have Bridge City Soul, and we have Portland's Own Pleasure as our headliner. And I just thank you all for the time that you've given Bruce and I today. And again, go to the Oregon Voters Digest site and learn more about Juneteenth. Share this presentation as Bruce has indicated. And thank you so much for having me.
This was really a pleasure. We've enjoyed it. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I've learned some things, if you will, and it's so important. In fact, that's why I've been so involved with the community on this particular piece for so long, because of the whole issue of the participation of Black African American males and women, by the way, that basically participated in the security of this country through the military. And as Heather had said, and she had made mention about the fact that some of the recruiters are going to be at the vendors, if you will, to give our young males the option, if you will, because
And
it's a
women
career,
too, young women too.
and young women. Yep, that's right. She's young women too, and she's right. But they're options, if you will, as far as careers. I mean, that's basically how I came to Portland, Oregon. I basically went through that career because in all due respect, my parents weren't sharp enough. They didn't graduate from college and this, that, and the other. So I joined the Marine Corps. And as a result of that, I made that a career for myself. And that's how I came to Portland, Oregon from Vietnam. If you will, at one point. So that's a good piece. And all the other participants, all the other the radio stations out here now, like KBOO, there's Eugene Rissard, the jazz man. If you will, that's because hopefully Eugene might be able to see it, throw out a plug with us on his show on Saturday, okay, and things of that particular nature, and all the other entities. So I wanted to make sure we put that piece together. And by the way, what we're going to do, we're going to probably go on and end now, and we're going to basically put the logo, the brand, if you will, of Juneteenth with the flyer, and you will be able to look at the flyer, and it basically gives you all the particulars that we've been talking about, that Heather and I have been talking about, and we'd like to make sure that we see you. We want to make sure that we can see you on June 15th at King School. It's got all of the background material that you need for the King School. You can Google King School and you can tell you exactly where it's at, located, et cetera, et cetera. Get there a little early, get there early for those who have gone through the process. And for those who haven't gone through the process, it'll give you some time, if you will, if you get there. Just stand around there and you'll see Heather there. She's a worker, and you'll see her, and you can sign up and participate in the parade. It's a very, very important piece. And so for all Oregonians, I'm sure that Heather basically would invite all Oregonians to give them a call and participate in a very historical moment on an ongoing day that was brought to you by former Clara people. She's looking at us right now upstairs. Her and Mrs. Green. They're both looking at us to see just whether or not they're going to continue doing what they want to do. And trust me, the family is doing. I looked at that board of directors. I've sort of not seen another face that I would like to see there, by the way. He's going to get a couple of males on that board now, baby. No problem. I just thought I'd throw that in there a little bit and Heather understand where I'm coming from. But again, thank you very much, Heather, for the presentation. We like that. I want to go on and give you final word, okay? Go on. Heather, give us a final word again.
Oh, all right. So, Juneteenth is a part of African American and American history. It's the history of this country. Although it's dark, it is a part of this country. And I'm so elated that we are finally, as a country, taking it seriously and recognizing it. And I encourage everyone that wants to make change in this country to take part in that. And if legislation for reparations comes to your state, vote in favor of it. And that's how you can continue to support us. And I need to go because I'm getting kicked out of my hotel
Okay.
room.
All right.
All
That's
right.
okay. That's okay, dear. You did a fine job. Thank you, Heather. I'll be talking to you soon. Have a good
Okay.
one,
Thank you.
and God
Bye
bless.
bye. Yes. Thank you. Bye bye.
So
Gotta
here
go.
we are again, too. You've gotten the presentation of the Juneteenth aspect of it, really, for 15th. Please, we're going to be getting the link. I'll be putting the link on Facebook, and hopefully you will share that with your group, if you will, and because this is a very, very, very important event that goes on annually here in the city of Portland, for the state of Oregon, for the whole world, for that matter. We're going to be celebrating Juneteenth throughout the United States, and naturally we have access around the world, for that matter. And I mean, the way she laid it out in terms of the participation from day one, way back when, and how Black African Americans were sitting there waiting for that date, that clock to click at the 12 o'clock hour, if you will, and it became Juneteenth, and what happened with the folks in the South, like we're having here right now, to a certain degree, in a lighter way, to a certain degree. I'm not calling this a racist state. I'm just saying we got to educate the people. Let's not forget. Let's understand where I'm coming from. We need to educate people. Let's make this an inclusive event aspect of it, okay? And involve the community, and let the people around the community understand that we've got Northeast Portland, and I can still remember real quick, like I can still remember when I had the same concern way back when, as a former Marine recruiter here in the state of Oregon. But I was basically stationed in Portland, and I recruited in Portland back there in the early '70s, if you will, and that was a very important thing to me. But the thing that got me about this, again, here we go, talking about inclusion. It was always the blacks lived in Northeast Portland, but it wasn't just a Northeast Portland piece. Every other area had an address. There was a district. There was a congressional district. There was a state district. There was a legislative district aspect of it. He came up with the idea of, in all due respect, came up with District 18. Look at the history. District 18. That happened during the Governor Vicatia era. Vicatia helped us out, put that piece together with an address. Because every 10 years, there's a kind of a regerrymandering, if you will, of the various districts around the states aspect of it. And in the state of Oregon, we had it, but guess what happened? There were elements within the community in the state of Oregon that basically said, we do not need this. And consequently, we lost District 18. We lost District 18. That was basically an address where a number of the residents happened to have been black African Americans. Not the area wasn't a white community, it wasn't a black community. It was a state community, if you will, a state community like the other. It was they were at the table. We were at the table, but unfortunately, we did not take it any further. I do plan to put it back on the table. That's why I've shared this with you. We need to have another district. Well, as far as I'm concerned, bring District 18. That's the historical piece. The historical piece. Okay, and there's some major notables that were part and parcel of that. Part of the politics of that during that particular time. Yeah, there was some entities here locally that did not want us to have District 18 and declare that a community where no residents happen to be black. On that particular note, I think I've shared enough with you, and I would like to again reiterate that please get involved. Please share the information that was given to you in regards to Juneteenth. Hope to see you there on Juneteenth. I will be there in my uniform. I will be there in the uniform. As I indicated to you, I'm a lifetime member of the Buffalo Soldier Association, and I was a past president, if you will, of the Buffalo Association for the state of Oregon, i.e., that we were in the city of Portland. I will definitely be there, and I will be participating, and hopefully all the other folks. And those, I might add real quick, like answer all those folks who are running for office. We got a new form of government right now in Portland, and with all due respect, you need to know about this history, et cetera. Please come to the parade, all of you. Just come to the parade. Then hopefully there'll be a segment there. You can be a part of the parade and let the community know who you are. Let the community know who you are here in the Northeast Portland corridor. Very, very important. These are very, very major times right now in the city of Portland. We're going to have to work all together to make sure that this is a goal. We're going to make sure that it's going to be something that's going to be a contributor to making the city of Portland roses again. You understand where I'm coming from? Very, very important. With that, take care. See you next week. Have a good one. God bless.
It's easy.